Sit in front of me. I mean,
And girls, we ask that you please refrain from eating, drinking, or using flash photography during today's performance. All right, everyone, put on your opera glasses because it's time to present Maestro Mickey Mouse and the Philharmagic Orchestra.
Yeah, let's have it.
Mickey, where's Donald? The orchestra's missing it. It's showtime.
Showtime? Well, I gotta open the curtains. You're not ready. What's that? I can't hear you, Mickey. Oh my gosh. Donald, wake up! It's showtime. Don't forget the orchestra. And don't touch my hat.
Can't really see. Okay, this is Corey and me about to ride Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster. We tried to get on this morning, but there was something wrong with it and we couldn't ride. We've got our fast passes. This will be the very last thing we ride at Disney World. Corey, give me a thumbs up. Yeah! What do you say, Corey? Rock out? Hang out with you? Say it. You don't say, hang out with your wang out. What's up with Studio B? Rockin'. Go. Stand right here. You got it.
As you're in Studio C, please continue moving all the way forward, filling in every single space. Once again, let's see the band those around you. Have a photography, a video ceremony. Thank you. Enjoy your tour, as always.
Another one?
We got company.
Watch.
Wow. All right. Hey, don't mind us. We'll be finished in just a minute.
What's that? Hey, what are you guys still doing here? You're supposed to be at his show. We're working now.
I'd like to introduce our lovely manager.
Yeah, she's usually not like this.
Yes, it's usually worse.
I heard that. Where is my limo? Good. Okay, come on, guys. Please, get in the car. Sorry, folks. We gotta go.
Make sure you lower this.
Chris, can you grab my blacklist, Paul?
Hey, wait a minute. We can't leave these people here like this.
We can't?
No.
Come on, you know how we feel about our fans.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, guys, what do you expect me to do? Is send them all with you?
Hey, wait a minute.
I love that idea. How about some backstage passes?
Yeah.
Come on. Make it happen. Come on.
Okay, I'll make it happen. Now get out of here. I hate all of you.
See ya. Have a nice night.
Hi, Sal, it's me. Listen, I'm gonna need a bigger car. Make it a stretch. In fact, make it a super stretch. Great. Excuse me. Okay, folks, look, the show is all the way across town, but I got you a really fast car. Okay, wait, it's out in the alley. Hey, guys, taxi.
We just went to. Okay, here's the Kennedy Space Center. Yeah. 10:10. Well, we got all kinds of time.
Go get a picture of her.
I will.
Sit down, kneel down, they're lying with their heads to the side, and the instrument panels above them. You're at the top there too.
The sheer size of this.
Now I know how they feel.
What's it like sitting inside one of those, Korey?
Awesome, except for it was wet, so I had to sit in between the cracks. It was uncomfortable. Hey, I liked it. Me, it was very comfortable. Katie, guess what?
That white room that we went through just now, is that the one where they died? The last?
What do you mean, the white room?
That white room back there.
No, that's where they used to get them ready. Here's what the Ruskies look like.
What is that?
It's Russian.
Here we go. Dad, here's my 3D puzzle, the big one. That was going to be my 3D puzzle when I'm done with it. That's if I ever get it done.
Pretty incredible, huh? To see it all in front of you, living color. Oops.
The drama was partly played out in this 2,200 square foot room, filled with unique equipment and a team of people dedicated to making the dream a reality.
This is virtual mission control. Let me point out some of the machinery. This is the retro guidance console, and over here we have the voice capsule command. Oh, and check this out. Over here we have a mission event proto guidance type thing, right? And it has an overhead. Right on it. Scrunching your shirt up.
We're about to take what?
Yeah, right.
What are we taking right now?
Tour.
Okay.
NASA, Kennedy Space Center.
Wait, Mom.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Kennedy Space Center. My name is Mary. I'm one of the hosts today on the NASA Up Close tour. Mac is our escort and he'll drive us around, keep us up on time schedule. I get him to talk with me a little bit today. And if you have questions, please ask either one of us. That's what we're here for. I was handing you booklets that we're going to use on the tour because there's a lot of neat photographs to look at and talk about. It's a lot of information in this little booklet that you get to take home with you. We're going to cover what we do here on the Kennedy Space Center, but there's also a special history tour called Then and Now, and that's what's on the back part of the book, is all about space history. That's a special tour that goes out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're a history buff, you might want to come back and take that tour with us. It's a little longer than this one. It's a 2.5-hour tour. This is a 2-hour tour. But just remember, in history, you go all the way back to the beginning of Alan Shepard and Gus Grissom, take you all the way up to the Apollo days, up to Pad 34, where the Apollo 1 firehouse. Funnel tank sitting between them is the very first one ever made. It's a true test article. You walk up to the orbiter and touch the tires. They've been to space. They landed the orbiter. 32 ply. They're much thicker than your car tire. So you fill up those tires with 375 pounds of gaseous nitrogen.
Wow.
And as you walk into the orbiter, you see where they live and work in space. And it's, how far away is it?
That's the vehicle assembly building.
How does it look? 2 miles? 5 miles? One of those answers is right. 5 miles.
5 miles away.
Looks 2.
Wow. Where do you see that
We'll talk more
building?
about that building when
It's
we have
massive.
that direction.
That building's 5 miles away.
Myself, I've been here over 16 years, born and raised in Florida. I followed this part beginning July 24th, 1950. First rocket launched at Cape Canaveral was bumper number 8. It's been over 55 years from this area alone. Next door is called Operations and Checkout. It was the manned spacecraft operations building. There's a little alligator hanging down in there in that corner. What they used to do here was, and you'll notice that one section stands very tall above the rest there. That's where the altitude chambers were located in the clean room. Today we are still using one of them to pressure test the International Space Station hardware. We're looking for leaks in the components. And that's where the astronauts stay, and this is where they also will return when they get back. They've been staying there since about 1965, back to Gemini Type 2 rockets. They used to stay on the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in a place called Hangar S in the old days. And our first stop will be here on our left, swimming corner. Space Station Processing Facility. Their job here is to test components, do final preparation. That's Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Today, their job is to launch unmanned rockets with satellites and the Kennedy Space Center Merritt Island area. The website on 14 you might want to use when you get home. You can type in where you live, find out when it passes over your house. They'll tell you the day and the time frame. Sunrise, sunset's the best time to see it. It looks like a big bright star coming across the sky. Moving at about 17,500 miles an hour. 28,150 kilometers per hour every 90 minutes around the Earth.
Wow.
What we're going to do is enter and exit through our side door here today. We'll come out, another bus will be sitting behind us. We'll be reminding you to get on the very first bus. My security people make sure you get on the correct bus too. Anything you want to leave here, you're more than welcome to. I want you to take your cameras with you. These are some life-size models that we're going to take a walk inside. On my right here, this is Destiny, which is the first American laboratory. A lot of experiments go on in space, growing plants, fire studies, fluid studies, growing protein crystal growth. And we study the body because we want to go to Mars in the future. And out in space, you're always exposed to radiation. It doesn't matter whether that's a short trip or a long trip. It causes you to lose bone and muscle mass in space. We exercise about 2 hours every day on the space station. Probably anywhere between 30 minutes to maybe about an hour on a shuttle flight. And it's just trying to help keep our strength up while we're out there in space. So before we ever take the big trip to Mars, there's a
for the old castle. You ever heard of North Star Aerospace? Mm-hmm. Out in Old Castle? Korey, stay next to Kate, here you go.
Okay, just keep looking like you were looking for it. Look at this. No, wait, Kate. Okay, first I'm looking at it.
You can make a whole new family of pharmaceuticals that can be used to treat cancer, for example.
Yeah. Did you see the sign that said Canada?
Yeah. On that side.
That was most of it. A good chunk of that was built near where we live.
I thought my bedroom was small. And I thought my bedroom was small. I thought the contrast.
The other one. The dispenser.
Oh, this is. Jeez, I thought her room was small.
Stowage.
You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to
Freezers.
the water will free because it's just floating around.
I probably have a suction vacuum, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Shower. And that's what our shower.
Could you imagine taking a shower in outer space? Yeah, man. How cool would that be?
Jam tight. That's the toilet.
This is the refrigerator
United States financing resupply missions if the Russians are flying.
Well, I'm sure we do have to help finance that situation. It's very hard for them to keep up financially.
I was told that a long time ago there was a law that prevented it.
No.
What?
Well, you're
Going to
not allowed.
space.
You're not allowed to smoke
Space, right?
in space. So would you go in space?
I wouldn't go to space no matter what. Whether I could or couldn't.
I would have a shower and everything. I would
I wouldn't want to go. I don't want to go. No desire.
Is it because it's too small? If it was bigger, would you?
No.
Why?
I'm quite happy where I'm at.
Dehydrate their food. We have to.
Stacy.
Dad, what does that mean anyway? It means that it's easier to eat in space. No, not Jello. Squares.
It's MRE, so.
Like watermelon.
Russia. was actually in space a little over 15, occupied 13 and a half years. 7 of our astronauts lived up there in the late 90s. It was 4, 5, 6 month stays, and Mir does not exist. It fell back and burned. Come on up, check out the Skylab model, take a look on the inside of it because it shows you what it would look like. Your adapter is the piece that's in the center that you see off to the side. That's a model of it. That's this big piece in the center here. Provided a docking port at the end for the Saturn 1B rockets that used to take us there. I know some of you can remember Skylab.
Yep, very well.
1973, 74, with those 3 separate crews. I was a little kid back then, kind of hard for me to remember. But it really set the stage for Mars, other space stations to come.
This is the real room. Here we go.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Corey, you enjoying this?
Yeah, but right now it's hot.
It is hot. It's very warm.
Come on in, everybody. Take a look out the windows. Step in. Suppose it's your windows up here.
Someone. Is this where they make the spaceships?
Hmm?
Is this where they make them?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, take a look out. This is the real space station harbor in front of you. This is about 100,000 foot clean room, very low level class. Air circulates about 12 times an hour. All filters, vacuum systems, keep it clean. Very limited access, as I mentioned. About 30 or 40 people on the floor at any one time. They walk in and out in regular clothes, but you do have to wear what we call bunny suits when you work on the components. Think about it like an operating room, except it's clean, it's not sterile. Body hair gel. We're looking at really 16 countries: Canada, Japan, Russia, 7 European countries from the European Space Agency, and Brazil. 2010 is when we're looking to be finished. We will retire the shuttle fleet at that time. There'll be something different that takes us to the space station. Now that building's open from the floor to the roof all the way through. That's a 1-story building. Really behind the 4 walls, it's a 129 million cubic feet. About 3.5 million cubic meters of space.
It's massive.
50 stars.
How to get the shuttle up in the air. The vehicle is assembled in a vertical position on the mobile launch platform in the building. And then it's carried out vertically all the way to the launch area. So once it's built on there, that's the way it stands. There's 4 bolts at the base of the boosters holding everything up. All the way to the shuttle system is in the solid rocket boosters mainly. So, number 2, orbiter processing facility here next to us on the road. This one is where Endeavour is located. Atlantis uses number 1 and Discovery uses number 3 across from there. Each orbiter has its own garage, hangar to be located where they can tear it down, check it over, get it ready for another mission. We used to have to move the whole fleet around when there was 4 left, so now there's only 3. And we are not going to build another orbiter to take her place if we're going to retire in 2010. It'd take you 2.5 to 3 years to make the real thing itself. Hey, they moved both the crawlers back over here. One of them was sitting in front of the vehicle assembly building. Now, once those space shuttles put together on that big mobile launch platform, it's one of these 2 crawler transporters that carries everything out to the launch pad itself.
Watch this.
6 million pounds sitting there. Been running since 1966. Built by the Marion Power and Shuttle Company of Marion, Ohio. Came down in pieces on barges. The only way to make the delivery. You can walk on top. That's the size of an infield baseball diamond.
That's what they moved the space shuttle on, Corey.
Notice the gray pipes and black hoses. Right above the tracks, that's the hydraulic leveling system. Raise and lower the deck as much as 6 feet. Every corner can run individual. Driver cab in the corner, you're always driving forward. In the opposite corner, there's another cab. See, there's no reverse and no 360s. Average 32 to 42 feet per gallon of diesel fuel, kind of depending on whether it's loaded or unloaded. Don't complain about your SUV, just the price we're paying right now, okay? 32 feet to about 42 feet. This is the mobile launch platform that Discovery launched from.
This is the one that
It'll be
Discovery
cleaned up
took
and
off,
checked over, get ready for another
This is the
mission.
one when you saw the shuttle go
platform
off.
up in front of us
It took
is
off
actually
from
ready
this
to be
right here.
used. And there's one in the building with Shuttle Atlantis on it. Look at these railroad cars here on your left. This is where the solid rocket boosters come in to be inspected. I know it's kind of funny when it says on there. When they put railroad cars together, they actually do go over a little hump. These cars are not supposed to because there's solid fuel in that booster when they're attaching the cars. Kind of a little hazardous. Storage areas in the rear in front of us for the booster segments. You can't transport the whole booster together. It has to be broken back down into segments. It's 149 feet in length once it's fully assembled. These big holes that we see in the platform, call them plank chutes. One for the 3 main engines, one for each solid rocket booster. Allow the flames to pass through along with lots of water into the flame trench. 400,000 gallons of water used in the pad. That thing weighs over 8 million pounds. It stands 25 feet tall. It's a mobile launch platform. So that means it can be moved from one location to the next because we physically launch on that platform at launch time. We do not remove the orbiter from there. The whole space shuttle launches from there.
Wow.
At 8 million pounds, you're not going to put the platform down and try to pick it up.
No.
Crawler transporter goes underneath it, picks it up off the support pedestals 22 feet high. Carry it over here to high bay 1 or 3, set it down, build a shuttle on it, and then pick everything up and take it to the pad when they're ready. Atlantis is in the doorway on the right closest to us right now. That's high bay 3. Why we call them high bays is, as I mentioned, it's open from the floor to the roof. That's why you call it a high bay. They're just work platforms that you walk out on, not floors like in an office building. When you open the bottom doors, right, left, 3 vertical panels up, the space shuttle will come out without a problem. This is the crawler this is the crawler way. Both sides.
This is where the crawler goes on, Corey.
Yes.
Right here.
I know.
So you can see it's
There's
spread.
launch control directly on our right. We've had 4 firing rooms in there. There's 3 active ones still today. Only one needed during launch countdown itself, 43 hours ahead of time. Launch countdown starts, it's officially 3 days. A lot of built-in holes for the final minutes of the takeoff itself. And we get to cross part of the crawler way here, and we'll do it one more time as we're coming back on the pads too. But we will follow this roadway all the way to the launch area. You got an 18 million pound load trying to get to the launch pad. 24 million pound load back during Apollo.
Now this is the way the space shuttle travels.
Takes us about 5 to 6 hours to A and 7 to 8 hours to B.
We're going up to the launch pad.
Why does the river rock come from so far away? Or why is it so far? You need a 3-mile safety zone.
3 miles.
The early days, it was anywhere between 100 feet to about 1,200 feet away from the pad and the blockhouses. Saturn V rocket needed 3 miles. So it's more than 3 miles away to the Launch Control Center and the Vehicle Assembly Building. Because it's a small atomic bomb sitting on top of the pad when it's fully fueled.
That's right.
That's what the big deal is for safety.
right.
If we ever have a disaster out here at the pad, we will lose both launch areas at the same time. And we still are going to feel percussions all the way back. They know that. It is a big bomb. It does not matter whether we go from the Mercury Redstone to the space shuttle of today. It is the same risk for an astronaut, always. Now the crawler never stays at the launch area, never stays underneath the mobile launch platform, and it parks right over here to the left. And it's halfway between the normal parking area where we've just seen them to the launch areas. And you've got to go pick up the empty platform a couple of days after launch. That saves us a lot of time. The regular tour stops right here, but we're not going to stop there. Flag is probably at half-mast for an employee. Anytime we lose people on the Space Center, we always lower the flags. We do have a video that talks a little bit more about the crawler and shows you how they get the space shuttle out to the launch pad. Let's play number 4, Matt.
It's telling you how they get it out. That's the crawler. It'll show you how they get it.
Hi, I'm Bob Myers, system engineer for crawler transport. Been on the crawler transporter now for about 20 years. Crawler is a vehicle that's used to move the shuttle and the mobile launch platform from the vehicle assembly building to the pad. It does equate pretty much just like being on a ship. It takes about 18 to 20 technicians and 7 engineers to move it along the crawler. The crawler itself is about 6 million pounds. It's comprised of 4 trucks and 8 tracks. Each of those tracks have 57 cleats, each weighing a ton. The crawler carries 9 million pounds of mobile launch platform plus another 3 million pounds of shuttle assembly. So you're looking at about 18 million pounds rolling down the crawlerway at one time. And it is never routine. There's always something a little bit different. We're always changing the crawler just a little bit. We're always making it a little bit better. So it's enjoyable work. It's not how fast the crawler can move, it's how slow the crawler can move. The crawler itself is able to actually position within an eighth of an inch tolerance. The crawler transporter typically has to dock the mobile launcher and shuttle stack within plus or minus an inch of its landing spot.
Now when you saw the shuttle take off there last week?
STM, right from CT at 104. You try to envision it just like a job, but at the same time, we see a great sense of satisfaction that you've actually put a piece of hardware into space.
That's the actual launch pad.
The inclination at the pad is 5%. Crawler takes an hour to go from the base to the top and keep everything completely level. Between page 5 and 6 in your booklet, it shows you what a Saturn V rocket would have looked like when it was still here. These are Saturn V rocket pads, and they were space shuttle launch areas. In that time frame, the crawler transporter mobilized every piece of equipment, including the mobile service towers and the rocket and launch umbilical tower on the platform. Bottom of page 6, all you're mobilizing today is the mobile launch platform and the space shuttle.
Korey, take a look.
That big red tower was taken off to make room for the shuttle system. Parts of the old launch umbilical tower still stand at pad A and B today. That's the tall structure with the lightning arrestor on it. That's a fixed service structure now. About 2/3 of the original lengths. Lightning arrestors are 80 feet tall. We do take an awful lot of lightning strikes here in Central Florida, the lightning capital of the United States. Smaller pieces, the rotating service structure. It does swing around and cover up the orbiter while she's here. More or less clamshells around her and keeps her protected. The cargo's loaded right behind those big white doors. When she's on the launch area, you really do not ever see the orbiter herself. Just the external tank and the solid rocket boosters are left to the outside elements. Up to our right is Cape Canaveral. That first tower is where the Atlas V is. That's the one going to launch on the 10th. second tower is used to launch Titan 4Bs. And then the last tower you see in the distance is where the Delta 4 will launch on the 12th. So we got kind of a early morning launch and then a late afternoon launch. People will be able to come into the visitor complex for those. I think they're going to open up at about 6. There's a manatee in that water. On our right. I'm sure that looked like a manatee in there. For a shuttle or a unmanned rocket? Unmanned rockets, you're going to launch in like on Pogo Beach, and we'll be open early that day because we're going to have launch guests, so they're going to allow people to come in and watch the launch of the Atlas V itself. Some people go over to Jetty Park at the port, and it's a camping recreational area. People do purchase tickets to go out and watch launches on the NASA Causeway for the shuttles, which is 6-7 miles away. Titus is also a good place to watch launches. Anywhere along these beaches, along the coast area, that's where most of the people are hanging out. Now, for these unmanned rockets, we're not going to go out to the causeway because we'll be too close to them. They might have a few guests out there, but they'll be just inviting guests of some sort. Kind of like landing days, only invited guests by NASA itself. So there's no general public there for landing. We don't support the landing unless it's during the day and we watch from the visitor complex. But it's going to be real early. Yes, they'll land in the dark. Not really. You won't have any picture ops. The only way to see it will be with the infrared cameras on television. When you hear the sonic booms, you can get up and watch it on television. You'll have about 3 minutes or less to touch down. So you'll have time to actually get out of bed. These big balls are the fuels for the external tank. Liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. Flare stack there in the center, that's for the liquid hydrogen vapors. That's only used during fueling time. Liquid oxygen vapors go off the beanie, which is coming down just below the lighting arrestor. You can see up there at the top, swung out. Water tower, 300,000 gallons in it, another 100,000 in the piping. Floods the platform, floods the flame trench. When you look at the back end of the pad, and it starts to make a big V, and the concrete looks a little dark, that's the end of the flame trench. Not any farther. 42 feet deep, 450 feet in length. 4 or 5 feet of water in there at the time of ignition. So,
boils off.
So the water will absorb the noise, and if we didn't, it would shake everything to pieces and crack windows in people's houses 15, 20 miles away.
No kidding.
No, we definitely don't want that to happen. Water's going to evaporate very rapidly, so that's why you see the big white cloud around the pad. We used 200,000 gallons for the Saturn V's. We could have used a little bit more. It's 142 decimals with water, 180 without it. Nothing survives. You'd be deaf. Being this close, we're 5,000 feet from A and B. We cannot stand here. Your blast zone is 3 miles, so we definitely aren't going to be this close, or this camera hill that we're just about to get off on. They put a special camera up here that they can radar and photograph the unmanned rocket launches that are coming up. But it's not a place where somebody actually documents the shuttles right here. It's going to be at a different location. While we're up here, I'm asking y'all to please stay on the concrete area. Please don't climb on the railings. No running around in the grass. There's tortoise holes here. I don't want you to fall in a tortoise hole. I'm more worried about their friends than the tortoise itself. Sometimes we see them running around in the grass up here, and they're pretty mild from up here. Let's go get some pictures.
It's warm out here, eh?
Very. Okay.
That's the ocean. Yeah, so would I. wind up death if it took off from here and you were swinging it?
Yes. 142 decibels.
I wouldn't mind.
So are there any people? I mean, what do the people do that are around here?
Nobody's any closer than actually 3.5 miles away. There is a team of miles. They're in all different areas. Everything's done remotely.
Not like you said, you've got an atomic bomb sitting there.
Exactly.
Vehicle assembly building.
We were on a boat when this last one, about 9 miles out,
Yeah, what is that?
It's a camera and radar imaging.
Oh, really?
It's hard not to look at it. I mean, there's a lot of technology there. Looks like something out of Star Wars. Then the other one over there. It's not to look at it.
Scrambling to turn things off and turning back on and resetting the breakers, we went to the moon and back safely. Weather plays a very important factor in all of these launches. The first time we were trying to get Discovery off the pad, even though we were having sensor glitch, it really had to also do at launch time. The weather was not going to cooperate. There was too much static electricity in the air. We cannot let the space shuttle, the actual orbiter, be struck by lightning.
No.
She's computerized. We're not going to make it space. So weather plays an important factor in every launch, manned, unmanned, even when we're going to try to get those unmanned rockets off this coming next week here. Realize rain's going to have to be 20, 30 nautical miles away. The visibility needs to be 7 miles on the runway for landing. You need winds no more than 15 knots for space shuttles, 17 knots for unmanned rockets, and then your temperatures are nothing less than 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So remember, all parts of weather play a factor in every launch.
Yep.
And you get the same restraints for an unmanned rocket. You can't launch in the rain. You can't land in the rain. So, and I know a rocket's a one-time use, but you don't want it struck by lightning and then all of a sudden the rocket goes off course and then the satellite doesn't make its proper orbit. Especially if we're going to do a Mars mission. We want it to head towards Mars. Most of our satellites stay in our Earth orbit. Some orbit the Earth, some go with the rotation of the Earth. The weather satellite that's on the Delta IV will go out 22,300 miles out. It'll go with the rotation of the Earth. We need to replace our weather satellites. They're aging very quickly and they don't last long. They last about 6 years. So it's time to difference.
You really go.
When you're wondering where the real close-up views come from, see this little hill just inside the fence? See the cameras that are set up? They look like a mailbox. They're set up in gaseous nitrogen, the remote cameras that are used for launch control, and the press site. So you got to make sure they're not getting damaged. That's why they use the gaseous nitrogen in them. They do the same thing for the mobile launch platform. They'll put gaseous nitrogen in it during a launch time. Why? There's lots of computers and electronics in there that you can't see. Constant fueling, a couple minutes before launch, shuts off the pressurizers. About 2.5 hours, I'll get it on it just a little bit. Yep, that's it. Realize before you know it, it's an hour ahead of launch, and everybody's leaving except the astronauts. They're not going to by themselves at least that last hour. And there is a way to get off the pad. I know they're sitting on the mom, but they can still get off of it. The wires that come down off the backside of the launch area is the emergency egress system itself. You're not James Bond, okay? You're not clipping on and riding down. You get in a basket and sit in it backwards and ride down. You can reach speeds up to about 55 miles an hour in 30 seconds. You'll hit this big net. There's a bunker at the base of the pad. There's also an armored personnel carrier. Doors open, vehicles idling. First person in is the driver. The commander's not getting in the driver's seat. The commander doesn't care who's driving us out in this situation. Break through a fence, go to a helicopter pad, get picked up. And they'll take them to a safer area. That system's never been used, but it's there just in case. When you see the dream is alive, they put an IMAX camera in the basket and send it down, so you get an idea what that ride is like. That's an e-ticket ride.
I'll slow down for that car carrier.
Okay. Yeah, even it is in the 70s, you know exactly. For them in total. 1 at the pad for the astronauts, 2 for the fire rescue team here in the crawlerway, and 1 out of the landing strip, just in case of emergency landing to here. These are firemen and paramedics on the inside of the M113s. They have special suits on. They have hearing protection. They have an oxygen mask. They don't get out of the armed personnel carrier for nothing. Believe me. Yes, they probably have some of the best views. Because I know somebody's sticking their hand out the top of it with a camera of some sort and taking some video. But they don't get out of the armored personnel carrier. You will feel every bit of the launch. I promise that. So it's a risk to sit a mile away. It's for Complex 39. Media comes from all around the world to report the launch itself. If you look over there where the flag is flying there, across the left, just next to the water, that big blue box is the countdown clock that you see on television. Counts away the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. Right now it's counting back up until those wheels stop on the runway. Media coming from all around the world to report the launch. Just remember, we are 3.5, well, we're 4 miles away right now from the launch areas. Another view of the American flag up to your right. Each star tip to tip is 6 feet. The blue area we call the Union, biggest in NBA basketball court. Those stripes are 8.5 feet across. NASA's 40th anniversary rolled around in '98. They painted over the old bicentennial star to put up the meatball. We cannot go inside that building now. You have to have special clearance. You have to have an upper level clearance to go in the building. Even I don't have clearance to go in there. Mac doesn't really have clearance to go in there. He does at the launch area. He has the special badge that gets us by the pads there. So we can't go up to the shuttle pad where the shuttle stands. Like when we go take Alonis back out, she'll be over at pad B. We just have to go by pad A and go back by pad A. But when we started building the space shuttle system, they had to take all the inessential personnel out and us. So it was for safety of everybody. There's 1.3 million pounds of solid fuel in the booster alone. So yes, there's 2 of them. 2 boosters already assembled. That's why they don't allow anybody in the building. They know who's in there at any time. They have to actually leave your badge outside. You put your badge in a special spot, and then they pick up another badge with a number on it so you don't accidentally pick up somebody else's badge. But they need to know who's in there at any time, just in case there's an accident. We've been pretty lucky. That's never happened. Remember, back during Apollo days, that's a liquid-fueled rocket. That's all loaded at the launch area. So it was a lot safer to walk in that building back then than it is today. We want to go in there, we have to be escorted in by somebody who has clearance to go in the building. They make all the tiles. There's a turtle laying out there. In this pale yellow building with the smokestack sticking out of it. It's 24,000 tiles on an orbiter, no tour light. There's 2,000 to 3,000 blankets on the wings, the tail, around the nose, cargo bay area, cargo bay doors, all have blankets on them. We put blankets on the orbiter and other spots to lighten up the manatees. And if you're lucky, sometimes we see nothing in there. Manatees are big sea cows. There's a couple of them in there. Probably like 2 or 3 are in there. Sometimes there's an alligator sitting in there too. If there's anything going on at the landing strip, fire trucks have to be sitting out here just in case. They're getting their cameras in spot for landing.
This is where the
Plus, they're
shuttle
also
will be
gonna have
landing
special floodlights
Monday.
out here, so we're going to do a nighttime landing. This runway will have to be lit up very well. Believe me, they'll be able to see it without a problem.
This is where it's landing.
You got 15,000 feet of 16-inch reinforced concrete. This is 300 feet wide. That's a football field. 1,000 foot of asphalt at each end. This is definitely 3 miles, 4.6 kilometers in length. One of the longest in the world itself for a concrete runway. You notice it crowns out there, so if it was raining right now, all the water is going to drain off to the side. No water ever stands on this runway. The markers at 1,000 feet are telling Eileen how much farther she's going to have to stop the warp to run the runway. It is her responsibility to put it down. We don't let the computers do that part. But it is computerized up till about the last 5 minutes from Australia to here in an hour from the other side of the world. So the glide slope in will be about 19 degrees, 6 times steeper than a normal jet, and touching down to 230 miles an hour, 365 kilometers per hour. Twice as fast as a normal jet at landing. One-time shot. Cannot pull out, try this again. You cannot change destination. It is possible to change direction. South to north or north to south. What makes it change direction? East-west crosswind. If it starts picking up too high here, they'll do a north to south landing. Most of the time it's south to north. Because the way we're finishing this orbit, it's either going to be west or southwest. Just depends on how that orbit comes around and how you actually finish it out. So, but that's the direction she'll be coming in. Now, Columbia's direction was coming in from the northwest, which was a little unusual. We don't cross the whole country coming back home, not normal. But we were not on a space station flight. That's a big difference. We were in a different location than where the space station is. So that's why it brings us to the southwest or straight in from the west from here. Yes, it's actually, well, you're coming in, no, you're not coming in over the Atlantic, you're coming in over the Pacific and in the Gulf. Yes. No, not usually. That's not a normal routine to finish out the orbit. Just the way the orbit finishes. Our press people will be up here. That is a brand new control tower, and that's a new press area above that building too. Set up their cameras. Everybody has their own location. And they're going to have a bunch of special guests out here. You have to be an invited person to come here. So they're going to have the people mover right next to it. And they'll pull the curtain so you can't see the astronauts coming off. They do that for their own privacy because what if somebody can't walk very well? They don't need to be seeing that right this second. They'll take them a day or two to get used to gravity. We just want to make sure they feel okay. Some people do get sick even when they get back because all of a sudden you have to adjust to gravity once again. That's what happened to John Glenn. It wasn't going up. Sometimes it's going up when you have space sickness. It was when he came back in that really made him sick. Because they usually have salt tablets that they take, trying to help their body adjust a little bit.
Well, I'm sorry, Kelly. Head this way. Head this way. Where's Korey? Korey, get down here.
If there is anyone still in the pre-show area, please at this time continue moving in. We will be closing the doors.
Yeah, take. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ruth, and welcome to the Firebird Theater. If there is anyone who needs to leave for any reason during the 10-minute presentation, please exit through one of the sets of 3.
This is the firing room. Launch control for the Apollo missions. This is not a mock-up. These are the very consoles we sat at when men first took off to fly to the moon. The tragedy of Apollo 1 had put us a year and a half behind. We were making up for it in one big leap. And we were doing it with a rocket that no man had ever flown before. It was a few days before Christmas 1968 when Apollo 8 sat on the pad. She was the first of a new kind, a moon rocket. This was the Phoenix, risen from the ashes of Apollo 1. The first Apollo crew did not die in vain. This was to be their testament. "36 stories high, she had been fully fueled throughout the night. The liquid oxygen in her tanks caused ice to form on the outside of the craft. The extreme temperature differences between the air and the sub-zero fuel caused the metal skin of the rocket to expand and contract. Everyone who was on the pad agreed. It was as though the rocket was alive, breathing, straining at the leash. Earlier in the morning, astronauts Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders had made their final preparations before taking that long ride out to the waiting spacecraft. The minimum safe distance from a Saturn V at liftoff was 3 miles. The reason was simple. When fully fueled, the rocket contained the explosive power of an atomic bomb. As the clock counted down, the astronauts and all of us in launch control went through the pre-flight checks, our hands on the controls of the most powerful, most complex machine ever built. It had over 2 million separate systems, and to bring these men back alive, everything had to work perfectly.
Amen.
Each individual system had been tested, but what we didn't know was how they would perform when all 2 million began to work together. That moment would come when the countdown clock reached 0. If a maneuvering thruster failed, if communications broke down, if navigation was off by 1 degree, if any piece of the miles of wiring, circuits, relays, or valves was defective, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders would pay with their lives. As they sat, waiting for launch on that chill December morning, these 3 astronauts were back to what they had always been, test pilots.
Yep. There it goes. Look at this.
You are now in the final minutes before the launch of Apollo 8, right here where it actually happened. Mankind is about to leave his planet behind and journey to another. It is one of those rare moments when history is not being made, destiny is being embraced.
Checks with the Apollo 8 astronauts in the cabin and the communications are go. During this period, once we do get the firing command, the various tanks within the 3 stages of the Saturn V launch vehicle begin to pressurize. We have firing command. The firing command is in. We're now on the automatic sequence. 2 miles, 2 minutes, 20 seconds to end count.
Look at that.
Our status board indicates that all aspects are ready. Mr. Hewitt is ready. Spacecraft ready. Final check of the emergency detection system. That ready light also on. First stage preparations are completed.
Okay. Ready to go to contact. Stand by, Walter. Okay, you're on.
45 seconds 9 as we come up on the 60-second mark on flight to the moon. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. The vehicle now is completely pressurized. We're coming up on power transfer shortly.
Look at this.
We have the power transfer. We're now on the flight batteries within the launch vehicle.
Here we go.
Final reports coming from Frank Borman at this time. Final look at the switch list aboard the spacecraft. 20 seconds, all aspects. We are still low at this time. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9.
Yeah, baby. Light 'em. Light 'em up. On the clock.
Apollo 8 successfully orbited the moon, and the astronauts returned safely to the Earth. I know. I'm Jim Lovell, and I was one of the crew of this spacecraft, Apollo 8. We were the first men to see the surface of the moon from just a few miles away. But it was the hundreds of thousands of men and women who worked in that team, and the millions of people who supported the mission that really made it possible. That way, I guess, we all went to the moon. Now, on the other side of those doors, you'll find an actual Saturn V moon rocket. It's still the most powerful, the most complex machine ever built. And I guess it's the only one that can take you to another planet. I actually got to fly one on a second flight to the moon called Apollo 13. But that's another story.
Good Lord.
I don't think it can be the real one. It's the real one. Isn't this the real one? Dad?
What do you think of that?
Is this the real one?
Yeah? What do you think of it?
Cool. How did they get it in here? It's called a huge crane. No, I mean in this room. They didn't have the room. They built a room over it.
Yeah, you can have flashlight.
The crane, they built that first, and then they put it on top of that, and then they built the whole building over it. Dang.
Look at that.
Dad, I have something to say to the camera. This is my mom. This is the real thing.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Awesome.
What'd you think of that last show we just saw?
That was awesome. I wish it could have been Katie, I have something similar to this, but it's Apollo 11.
Look
I have a
at
3D puzzle. I was going to say that big. I was going to say, yeah, right.
God.
3D puzzle. Apollo 11 again.
Okay, yeah. You could cook a chicken with that.
Yeah, really.
Hey, with those engines, Corey,
What?
You could cook a chicken.
You could cook a human. 1 second.
Cook a bunch of humans.
Hey, all you have to do, fire up one of the engines. No, the captain.
There's one engine.
Okay, let me get in there and fire up the engine.
Another. Look at the goddamn fuel lines. Good Lord. Korey, this is what?
What?
What did you say this is what?
I didn't say anything.
You said this is too...
That's too cool.
You like this?
Yeah. We're gonna go to the bathroom in a minute.
On a 1 to 10, what do you give this?
150.
I thought you'd like this.
So look at the front.
I wish my dad was here.
Yeah, don't.
Dad, I wish you were here.
Very front.
My God, do I wish you were here. You can look at the camera, say thanks to Bubba in the house. Because he took me here. That's why you're here right now.
Yeah, we're gonna
Tell Bubba what you think of this place.
Way too cool. Forget about you guys, I'm gonna go shopping here. Forget about home, I'm staying here.
What'd you say this is what?
This is too cool. And forget about home, I'm staying here.
Yeah, I figured you'd like this.
I don't care about at home anymore. I care about this place.
Is this just as cool as Disney?
No. This is a lot more cooler.
This is cooler than Disney? Yeah.
By my home, I'm living here.
I think you'd miss everybody. You know who'd like this?
Bubba?
Both Bubbas and Grandpa.
Grandpa likes planes.
Yeah, Grandpa would like this stuff too.
Yeah, it's like a plane.
My God, if you could only see how freaking big that is.
Mom?
I'm almost out of video camera.
Signifying landing is imminent.
Coming in about 205 knots. Touchdown, main gear.
This is pretty big. This is pretty huge. This is inside the space shuttle itself. Well, I'm sorry.
Hello? Hey, sweetie, we're in the cargo bay.
Jimmy, this is the cargo van. They open up.
I don't know if you can get it in here, but man, this thing is huge. I had no idea it was this big. This thing's massive. It's amazing this thing can go 18,000 miles an hour. You got no battery left. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Did you had a good time? Okay, love you both.
Saying to, I miss you, Uncle.
Love you both. This is the end of the tape. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.